Jake Klein Photog Travel. So this series of DIY RV repairs to save money, obviously don't even attempt it if you have no skills whatsoever. I was a carpenter. I messed around in a short period of time with electronics, electrical work as an electrician, a little bit of plumbing. I consider myself to be a decent mechanic and work pretty well with tools. So trying to get out of the sun where I'm not being blinded. Hey, and you can still see me. There I am. So definitely don't attempt it if you do not have the skill set. Pay a professional to do it. It's not worth it. You're going to actually cost yourself more money by doing it wrong and causing damage. But I have saved myself thousands of dollars by doing little things on my own. I just gave Petey, this is Petey, my RV. Again, 2008 Itasca Navion 24J. Petey, I've given her 4 oil changes in the time that I've had her. Just gave her one the other day, and it is a easy process if you know what you're doing, and it cost me about $80 to do it myself. It costs anywhere from $150 to $250 to pay someone else to do it. So the savings right there is 3 or 4 full tanks of gas, or a week's worth of food, or whatever the case may be. So for me, it's worth doing it myself if I can. Now there are times, example, front brakes I can do myself. Rear brakes, nope, I paid somebody $550 to do it. It's a lot of money, but they did it right. I put professional truck brakes on there, and pads and rotors and the whole 9 yards, everything brand new. So I got a good deal on all that stuff as well. So that was definitely worth it. Not something I can do myself. I don't have a 12-ton jack or a place to pull it in and jack the whole thing up and do it myself. So it made more sense to pay somebody to do it, let them do all the tough stuff, and I can save money on all of the little things that I do, which I have done. Including, I will soon be doing a video on painting the interior, ripping out the carpet, putting down faux wood linoleum. It looks a lot better than the crappy linoleum they included in this RV. So Petey's getting the small facelift on the outside and a big facelift on the inside. I'll do videos on all of that. The back of Petey. Petey is my RV. Petey's been through a lot, over 38,000 miles with me, 50,000 with the previous owner, which puts me at 84,000 miles, give or take. So, along the way, I bought myself motorcycle hitch. Started off with a lightweight 50cc moped. Now I have a little bit heavier 150cc moped, and soon I will upgrade to a real full-size motorcycle, in which I will have to make some other modifications. In order to prepare for that particular weight, there was some obvious things that I had to do. This is a 2008 Itasca Navion 24J. Its holding capacity, well, actually I can zoom right in there for you. You can read it yourselves, but I'll read it out loud. Tow vehicle rating may be less than hitch rating. Maximum vertical hitch load is only 350 pounds. So I looked up, what do people in RVs of every different size do when they want to haul a large motorcycle like this without having to come, another 20 feet out with a trailer? Well, they have to have it reinforced. So I bought these 2-inch thick, same exact metal as used in the original hitch, pipes. Had them welded by my nephews onto the actual A-frame itself, not onto the frame that already has a hitch, but onto the main frame itself. So it is not just tacked, but welded, and welded in many places along the way. You can see the welds. My nephew had just graduated, welding academy or welding school, welding tech school, there you go, and got his certification. I went and bought him a Harbor Freight $128. Actually, I went halves on it with his dad. $128 welder. Unfortunately, I discovered soon after that although he did an incredible job of welding it, him and his friend Alan, shout outs to Alan and Jason, as well as Christian, my other nephew, helping out on a lot of other things. In any case, it wasn't enough. It didn't hold. Those welds started to crack. So I recently took it to a large truck welding place, and for a very low fee, they basically just reinforced the welds that Jason and Alan had already done. So now it's like rock solid, and it will be able to hold the motorcycle. The downfall is that obviously I had to modify. The modifier, the cuts that you see on the bumper. The bumper is just two solid pieces of plastic, which I had to rip off twice and therefore use a heavy glue, which I need to clean up all of that glue. I already went to Lowe's, and for $14 they color matched based on the pieces that I cut off some paint that I will roll on with a roller, and hopefully that will look good. I just need to clean everything up. But I also bought myself a fiberglass repair kit made by Bondo. So I'm going to clean that up and Bondo it up so that it looks nice and tight, giving a little bit of room for movement, but cleaning up. As you can see, the cuts were kind of harsh. I had done some Bondo repair several times to this corner. I'm going to clean that up a bit as well. We'll fix this one, and there's one or two little areas right there that I'll go ahead and clean up, and then we'll throw paint on tomorrow. So this is what I'm going to be doing today, is cleaning up the bumper and fiberglassing, and then tomorrow I will Bondo everything, and then the next day, weather permitted, I will throw a coat of paint on there. I'll show you all the finished products and the costs. So if I were to take this to a place and have them do it, you're looking at about probably, I haven't gotten a quote, but my guesstimate would be about minimum of $500 or $600 minimum. And they'd probably take the bumper off, and that was really jack up the price. And no offense to any of them, but this is $15, 99-cent store. And the paint, as I mentioned, cost me about, after tax, maybe $16. So I'm in it, all in all, $40, and do the work myself. Carefully read the instructions. I have done already 2 repairs, as I've been hit twice there, and I think I did a decent job for somebody who never went to school or took any classes on how to do any kind of body repair. So hopefully this will come out good. I will continue the video at that point, and then I'll make some more videos on a lot of the other mods that I have done over the last couple months. Been making modifications to keep Petey on the road, which brings me to the end of this part of it. I did not hit record because I did not want to get the sticky resin all over me, but here is the first phase of the patching. So that is the fiberglass with the hardener on there. I will put a second coat of fiberglass and hardener, let that dry, then sand it and paint it. So there's both sides. But it is very difficult to work with fiberglass with rubber gloves on and try to work the camera and all that kind of stuff, so I did not bother. But applying it is essentially cutting out the strips, mixing the resin with the hardener, and then using a paintbrush, just basically covering the whole area. First putting down the resin mixture, and then putting down the fiberglass, and then coating the fiberglass with a lot more of the resin mixture. And as you can see, that is the first coat. I will put down the second coat once it's dry, so I'll do that tomorrow. And then a good sanding and she will be ready for paint. Well, actually, then I'll bondo it and then sand that, and that'll be ready for paint. So by this weekend, it'll all be done, saving myself about 450 bucks. Here's what I used so far, but I bought a second one from the 99-cent store, so that's what I will use when I finish it all up. It's trash day today, by the way. That's why there's all this trash next to it. So yeah, Petey getting a nice little facelift, and I'm pretty happy. And as you can see, I also yesterday bought some black paint and repainted the motorcycle carrier. So like everything in life, there are learning curves. And what I've learned from this time is I'm going to use the cheaper gloves that come with it, because that stuff gets everywhere. And secondly, that I need to pre-cut the strips so that it makes the job a lot easier when everything is very sticky and you only have so much time before the hardener is completely hard. So what I did was I marked them. Your sides already pre-cut, your tops, your bottoms, so that it would be your sides there and there, your bottom and your top. So I've already pre-cut all those for both sides, and we'll get that on now. That will be the second coat, and if I think I need it, I will put a third coat, because that bottom there has got a bit of a lump sticking out. I have a bunch of areas to fill. I don't want to put too much bondo, especially bouncing around. It won't last very long, so I've got to put 2, possibly 3 more on there. But definitely going to do these 2 for now. So 2 more covers. Hopefully we will be there. Then we'll sand it a little bit, put bondo on, sand that, and paint. So here we are, day 3. We're about to begin sanding. If you're wondering about the discoloration there, I added glazing putty to fill in some of the holes and gaps. I got to give it a really good sanding today, and then I'm going to have to use either some more of that glazing putty or a little more bondo, as it's a little more difficult when you're just kind of creating stuff that wasn't there. In other words, underneath here, you'll see it's kind of uneven. That was a huge hole, gap. So if you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll see that underneath the metal that I had welded, it's just a huge empty gap. So it's been kind of difficult to fill that in perfectly. So I'm going to have to do another layer under there for sure, and a little bit under this one as well. As you can see, it's kind of beveling. So some sanding today, and then I think I'll probably put some more bondo, then sand that down even all the way down using a couple different grids of sandpaper, and then she should be ready for paint. And I already touched up some spots from some stuff I had done a couple months back, so that'll be a lot smoother and look good when I paint it. So all in all, when this is all said and done, Petey will have a beautiful new-ish bumper, and as you can see already, even though there's discoloration, that it looks a lot better than it did when I started. So it's taking several days because you have to let everything cure. You have to let it dry completely before you start sanding, and you end up with problems if you don't do it right. So like I said, just a little bit more bondo probably this evening when I get back from my adventures, and then sand that all down tomorrow, and it should be ready to paint by this weekend. So 2 more days, and that'll be the next video. Once I have it sanded, I'll do the video right before I'm painting, maybe actually show me applying the paint with a roller, and hopefully I haven't really double checked yet, but hopefully Lowe's got the matching correctly so that it matches in, because it has to blend. Right here is where it's really going to show, and right here where the caps join together. So Day 3, third phase, 2 more phases, and it'll be painted and good to go. Jake Klein, Photog Travels. Just finished about 15 minutes of sanding. And, let me get out of the shade, or out of the sun. And that is the result. As you can see, definitely going to need some more bondo on that one. This one is pretty good to go, except for on the very bottom. There's a bevel there, so I'll need to fill in a little bit.